It's a gorgeous spring day in May in medieval France. A group of fancifully dressed people parades through the forest on horses, accompanied by 2 small dogs. Musicians herald this group of aristocrats as they celebrate May Day. This scene is immortalized in the Très, Heures, or the Very Rich Book of Hours, one of the most famous illuminated manuscripts of the 15th century. Its patron, or the man who paid for this luxurious book, was one of the wealthiest in France, Jean, the Duke of Berry. He hired the Limbourg brothers, Northern European miniaturists, to create full-page paintings for each month, including this one. Commissioning this manuscript speaks to Jean's immense wealth and status, which he sought to immortalize through art. Like other calendar pages in the manuscript, the Limbourg brothers show activities corresponding to the month. Each page reflects a world that Jean wished to project, one of order. Some calendar depictions focus on the labors of the month, such as peasants tilling the fields or harvesting grapes. In others, they show aristocratic activities and revelry. Here, the artists depict a noble jaunt through the forest on horseback, signaling the arrival of spring. These elites enter the scene from the right and proceed to the left in an arc across a landscape before a densely wooded area in the middle ground. Everyone is richly attired, and many wear garlands on their head or around their shoulders. 3 women wear the same green-colored clothing, a sign of springtime. All of these people don fabulous hats and headdresses, and one woman wears a distinctive double-horned headdress known as a hennin. Even the horses are dressed for the occasion, wearing fancy caparisons, or the decorative cloth here in blue and green that covers harnesses and saddles, and there are also golden bosses. This extravagance reinforces the elevated status of these people in society. Everything seems alive with the season on this clear spring day. Flowering bushes in the foreground and the green leaves of the forest remind us that life has sprung anew. While the procession unfolds in the forest, towering buildings dominate the horizon in the distance. It is suggested that these buildings are part of the Palais de la Cité in Paris, a royal residence owned by Jean's royal nephew, the King of France. The Duke himself had a residence on the left bank of Paris with a view towards these structures, which included buildings like Sainte-Chapelle. Even far back in space, the artists have carefully painted details, leading some art historians to suggest that this is an architectural portrait. Other calendar pages in the manuscript have clearly identifiable castles, some owned by Jean, others associated with royal relatives, a connection Jean was keen to remind people of. The artist's attention to detail, from painting silk to velvet, fur to embroidery, creates rich textures that draw us into the scene. Jean spared no expense, with his artists using expensive materials like lapis lazuli to paint the stunning cobalt blue sky and blue clothing. Although the identities of the figures remain uncertain, their attire, particularly the red, white, and black livery of one figure, suggests a possible connection to the French royal family. The figure in the expensive blue garment, elaborated with golden embroidery, has also been identified as Jean himself, since he appears in at least one other manuscript page in similar clothes. The focus here is less on landscape and more on the people. Notice how the aristocrats are larger in scale than the surrounding trees or buildings. Their placement in the forest is important because it was associated with the aristocracy and the nobility in the Middle Ages. Only they had the right to hunt in this space. It was not the domain of peasants. In fact, there were forest laws or forest rights intended to keep people out of these spaces. So here, the forest is a symbol of their power or their domain. Interestingly, though, this is painted after a long period of peasant uprisings and social and political upheaval in the 14th century. Yet we have no sense of that here. This scene, created for Jean, presents an idealized vision of peace and control, a world where the aristocracy is untroubled as they celebrate this beautiful spring day.